This is Father Andrew Ritchie, and you're listening to Catholic Inspiration, a podcast from my website at studyprayserve.com. These homilies, presentations, and retreats form part of my ministry as a Catholic priest for the Diocese of Superior. And now I invite you to open your hearts to some Catholic inspiration. Today is Monday of the 20th week of the year. Our Gospel reading is Matthew chapter 19, verses 16 to 22. A young man approached Jesus and said, "Teacher, what good must I do to gain eternal life?" He answered him, "Why do you ask me about the good? There is only one who is good. If you wish to enter into life, keep the commandments." He asked him, "Which ones?" Jesus replied, "You shall not kill, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness, honor your father and your mother, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself." The young man said to him, "All of these I have observed. What do I still lack?" And Jesus said to him, "If you wish to be perfect, go sell what you have and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come follow me." When the young man heard this statement, he went away sad, for he had many possessions. What good must I do to gain eternal life? Now, it's an interesting conversation. First, it's important that we're told this is a young man. So you have this kind of sense of someone who's very idealistic, passionate, cares, is God-fearing, is all in, enthusiastic about living for the Lord. And that's to be credited. This person's on fire and wants to grow closer to God. We want to encourage that. And then as the conversation goes further, he's living the commandments. He's listing these, folks. If you take a list of the 10 Commandments, we got all the heavy hitters here, right? How we treat people. The guy is living a moral life. There's one piece, though. He has what we would call an attachment to things. He has a lot of possessions. And Jesus challenges it. Sell what you have. Give it to the poor. Come and follow me. Now, it's the understanding here that this is someone who cares about God. This is someone who's striving to live a moral life in right relationship with others. But the issue in stake here that we're finding is he's not detached from stuff. The guy likes his things. And by the way, folks, we got to live with stuff. We are material beings. We are made of stuff. We are encased souls. We got a body. And so we need a certain amount of stuff to live, clothing to wear, place to stay, food to eat. There are things that enhance our life. There are a lot of things we can do with stuff that are good and wholesome and true. The question is, who's running my life? Am I running my life, or is the stuff running my life? Am I more worried about the stuff than I am about life? So here we have someone who is living all of the commandments, but felt sad because he was attached to his possessions in a way that he could not let go of them easily. And that's really the point here today. Spiritually, we call this detachment for a reason. Can I walk away from the stuff of life, the things of life, even relationships in life, because of who I am, what I am about, and my relationship with the Lord? Detachment means we understand that things are for us to use, but then we let them go because they're not ours in the end. They belong to God. Detachment means that we're not so connected to stuff that it runs our life, rules and directs our life, and can get in the way of life. Now, there's a really good biblical image that works here that can really carry us quite far, and that's the notion of a steward. I say this because a steward in the biblical world is someone put in charge by the owner of the stuff. The steward's job is to take care of it, make sure it's well maintained, that it's used wisely, nothing is wasted. Because the steward is accountable to the master. The steward is accountable for the stuff because the master's one day going to say, "Give me a reckoning, give me an accounting, I want my stuff. Tell me how it's doing." The steward is in charge of it, but the steward does not possess it. The steward's job is to use the stuff wisely and well on behalf of the master, the owner. I find this a very, very helpful image for us because, friends, we are stewards of our lives. Everything we have is a gift from God, and one day God will want it back. Everything we have has been entrusted to us by the Lord to use wisely and well. Because last time I checked, there is no U-Haul behind the hearse that's leading out to the cemetery. We can't take it with us. But how we use the stuff in this life says a lot about what we value for eternal life. And so today we can reflect in light of this to say, the possessions I have, am I more worried about them than I am about my relationship with Jesus, with my family, with my friends? Is the stuff getting in the way? Now we have to deal with stuff, possessions, things, money, but may we think of it like a steward. It's on loan to us. And one day we will stand before the Lord and make an accounting of what we did with what we were given in this life. Can we be detached, recognizing that it's only ours for a short period of time? We need to use it wisely. We need to use it well, because one day the Lord's going to want it back. Folks, I never would want us to get caught up in our stuff so much that we miss out on Jesus. And so today we can ask the Lord for guidance, to be good stewards, to use whatever is entrusted with us wisely and well, to foster the kingdom of heaven here on earth until the day God calls us into eternal life. God bless you all. This is Father Andrew Ritchie, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Catholic Inspiration. These homilies, podcasts, presentations, and retreats are part of my ministry. And folks, if you found it helpful, please feel free to share my podcast with someone you know and love in the hopes that it will help them in their journey of faith. And you can help me if you just go back to your podcast engine and write me a rating and a review. I keep all my listeners in my daily prayers, and I ask that you remember me in yours as well. God bless you, my friends.